Okay. Hey guys, this is John. Almost lost my voice there for a second at the beginning. And I'm playing Entitled Tuesday on chess.com. It's Tuesday, July 7th, 2020. Let's play a Scandi in game one here. Why not, right? Playing WFM Barbara 25. Let's play Queen A5. Hope you are all doing well. We are into July now. This is my first time streaming in a little while. I've been busy with some chessable work. Okay, we'll play into this main line. White can go knight d5 if they like. I used to play this line all the time back in the day. Not so much anymore, but still a variation I trot out every once in a while. Yeah, knight d5 definitely being the most challenging here. Pawn d5. Okay, I faced this before. I think queen c5 is a good reaction. Attacking the bishop and also the pawn here. Hello to everyone in the chat, by the way. Hope you all are doing well. I think now I can just take on d5. Oh, mute myself. You guys don't want to hear an echo. Okay, knight c6, just develop. Bishop e7, castle's kingside coming. I should be up a clean pawn here. Don't see a whole lot of compensation for my opponent. Okay, there could be some bishop a4 operation. Let's play bishop g6. On bishop a4, I think I'll play rook c8. Hello to Likes, also Microsoft Chess. And Celino, thanks for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Much appreciated. Okay, let's go bishop e7. Thanks to Prosetics as well, 17 months. Hurrah, happy summer. Yes, indeed. Good to see you, Prosetics. Yeah, missed you guys as well. Hey, Big Steve. Thanks for the 3 months. Happy to be here today. Okay, let's castle. We got 10 rounds of 3+1 Blitz on deck. Maybe bishop b4 here. This looks like a potentially annoying move. Pressure c3. The knight is pinned after all. Okay, take. And now knight e4 looks like a pretty logical follow-up. Yeah, let's go ahead and play it. Further pressure. Also, c5, c4 could be in the air at some point. This bishop on b3 is looking a little trapped. Oh, and I see the screen capture is off slightly. I know why that is. Sorry about that, everyone. I think it's good now. It was a little bit cut off there for a second. Okay, h4. Coming in aggressive. Could play c5, but I feel like h5 is worth stopping, so I'm just going to spend one moment to do that. Oh, wow. Thank you very much for the subs, guys. There's a lot of subs going on here. I'm going to try to read them out after the game. You all are very kind. A lot of subs rolling in. Thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. Okay, queen f4. Yeah, I really like this c5 move. I'm going to go for it. Let's see where she puts the bishop, because this is a pretty big idea on deck. c4 should just be winning. Maybe bishop takes first. Don't want to use too much time here. Yeah, I think bishop takes first just to make this real clean. Now c4. There is rook takes e4 as a possibility. Okay, this one, I think I will just take. Unless there's issues with rook takes e4 with my king being open. But now I feel like that should be good. Okay, let's play f6 now. Let's go queen d5. Got to speed up a little bit. Go here, pin. Bring the king up. Kind of let that drop off, although queen d2 looks good if I play that. Okay, so up in exchange, just gradually trying to convert here. Maybe I can induce f3. Probably not a move that white wants to play. Okay, let's go here now. Now this is the plan. Feel a little bit slow. I haven't played Blitz in a while, guys. But certainly doing my best. Picking up that pawn helps a lot. Because now this A pawn is very dangerous. Bishop d4, maybe e5. That is going to be a tough pawn to stop. All right. Okay. Chalk up the win. I will take it. Thank you guys so much. I heard all of the notifications while I was playing that game. Let me just read off the subs here. James Ramsden, thanks for the 14 months. Rez Daddy for the tier 1. Happy Pass Pawn, also tier 1. Otis86, hello to you. Erwin, thanks for the 300 bits. Tomato Can, thanks for the 26 months in a row. Swole Buddy with the tier 1. One Hit Blunder, thank you for the 3 months. Big M Wayne, MG Streak, the 4 months. Says, it's hashtag MJB time. Let's go, John. Yes, indeed. The MJB is brewing right now, guys, by the way. Gonna go pick that up momentarily. Night Moves, thanks for the 13 months. Chessy Bus, hello. 20 months from Chessy Bus. Innovative Panda with the 11 months. Retiree, hello. Thank you for subbing. Blandified with the Twitch Prime, 4 months. Thanks again, Big Steve. Says, hope you're all having a great day. Likewise, Big Steve. And Presedex, once again, 16 months. I think that is everyone. Awesome. I'm going to pop my chat out so I can see this a little bit better. I don't have to turn my head as much. Sorry if you guys hear my computer fan going today. It is not happy with me streaming after about a month, apparently. Yeah, Like says that as well. PC really working today. Don't know why that is. It just flares up randomly. Hey, Innovative Panda with the 1,000 bits. So let's get a perfect score on this one, John. I will definitely try. And Otis86, thanks for subbing Twitch Prime, 6 months. Let's see who's in the mix today. Hikaru, Faruja, Big Fish, Dulles, that's Daniil Dubov, Alexander Grishuk, Mickey Tarian, Paramov, MVL is playing, Peter Svidler's playing, Wonderful Time, Very Strong I Am, Dmitry Andreikin, Fabiano is playing. Shout out to Fabiano Caruana. Yeah, very strong today. 830 plus players. Belgian Novice, thanks for the 27 months. This is Hey John, hey everyone. Greetings, Belgian. Who do we got going still in this round? Okay. This game's looking like a draw. What else? Ooh, the old bishop and knight versus king. You love to see it. Let's see the technique. Yeah, bishop here. The W maneuver. Who knows about the W in this ending? Raise your hand. the time-honored way of checkmating here. You can also use Delatong's triangle method, which if Tony Rowe happens to be watching, he has a great video on that on YouTube, Tony Rotella. But white is using the classic way of doing this, and white is going to get the job done. Now black's confined to A1, B1. He's got to make a waiting move now, and then knight A3, bishop C3. Nicely done by Gabrielian. 127 move win right there. What is my best score in this tournament? I think out of 10, 6.5, maybe 7. I feel like I might have touched 7 once. But Title Tuesday has changed the number of rounds in the past, so there has been 9 rounds in past iterations of it. Okay, playing Silverback. Silverback 96. I feel like I played this player in the last Title Tuesday, or maybe the one prior to that I played in, at least. I prefer the W method for sure, Matador. I actually don't know Delatong's triangle method. I mean, I know in theory what it is, but I'm not too familiar with how it works. Check out Tony Rotella's video, though, for sure. Gives a great breakdown of it. Okay, black's really tempting me to take this pawn, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to play bishop d3. I got 7 out of 10 once, says Dijon Mark. Okay, thank you. Thank you for cross-referencing that. Didn't I get 7.5 a month or two back? I don't think I ever scored 7.5. I feel like that is a little high. Jay Chester, thanks for subbing. 4 months. Says, hey, John, hope you are doing well. Good luck. Likewise. Thanks, Mr. Chester. Hope you're doing well, too. Also, Nikurion, thanks for the Twitch Prime. Okay, I'm going to go h3 here, I think. Looking to meet queen c7 or rook here with bishop g3. Again, I'm really tempted to take this pawn, but I think I'm not going to do it this time. Okay. So here, let's play rook b1. Sometimes you can meet this with queen b3, but I feel like this is not a great circumstance to do that because of c4. Chessable Rookie, thanks for subbing, 17 months. Okay, I think that's a clear sign he's going to go for this. Can I beat him to the punch and play e4? Maybe, maybe. Looks interesting, so let's do it. He's definitely played in experimental fashion, I would say. Yep. Yeah, Tony and I did lessons for a little while. Okay, can I take here? If he takes with the pawn, I take. That looks like a pawn to me. Could also play e5 or just take on d5 as well. That's also a pawn, right? Maybe that's the cleaner way to win the pawn here. Although then his knight gets into f4. I don't like that as much. Let's do it this way. Thanks, Roos Goose. Glad you're liking Chessable. Yeah, so I saw that this would be an inconvenience, but to try to win this, I think it might be worth it. Knight a5 might be interesting. Okay. Let's play b4. And then I'm going to try to support the pawn in the center. Maybe castle by hand. g3, king g2, rook over at some point. So if he goes queen b5 now, looking at the d5 pawn, I can just play c4. Magic Pig Detective, thanks for the Twitch Prime, 14 months. Hello, Trey. Hello, CST Gene. Okay, maybe... he's hitting up c3. Okay. So, looks like I should play this. And I could go on with my plan now that I mentioned. I think I will do that. Go here. Feels like he's going to try to break the structure somehow. You know, play b5 or f5, f4 or something like that. But on the whole, I feel like I'm coordinating really well here, so... Hey, Keith. Thanks for the 3 months. Cheers. Okay, bishop d7. So, got to worry about some long-range attacks here. But let's take, and then I'm going to play queen here, I think. On queen c8, maybe just knight g1. Little retreat to defend, followed by rook e1. Just play for trades. Let's guard d4. I'm up a pawn, so that should be the default strategy. Trade down. Okay, that's a good idea. He's going to play knight into e4. Fair enough. Maybe knight e5 here. That would be interesting. I'll try it. Idea being, if he takes twice, I will have f3. And his knight will be pinned to his rook. R. Beasley, thank you for subbing. 3 months. And CST Gene gifting. Oh, that move is something I missed. Did not see knight to d2 coming. Does his knight have a way out, though? I should have seen that move, but does his knight actually have a way back? Scotch Goggles, thanks for the 2 months. Says, hey John, love your content. Thank you. Evidently, no. The knight does not have a way back. Okay, still not going to be easy here. Need to get coordinated. A3 maybe here. Try to bring the bishop to A2. Let's do this. He can't take on E2 because my pawn runs. Can play king f8. Probably has to play king f8. No, it goes back. Okay, now I think I'm gaining control, though. Okay, this is definitely looking good now. Let's check. Check again. That should be over. I can take here next. And if he steps to f7, I'll have a discovery, followed by winning the queen. Tricky. Yeah, I think once he played queen e6, that was the issue. All right. Thanks for the game, Silverback. Chalk that up. Great. 2-0 start. I'll take it. Pass pawn. Thank you for subbing. 12 months. This is Hi John. How's the love life going? Says Mountain Dew Piter. I'd say right now it's pretty non-existent. Been very busy with Chessable lately. In particular, we just had the Chessable Masters. Thanks to so many of you for watching. I made a course for the Chessable Masters, the Checkmate Patterns Manual, which you probably saw a bunch of ads for if you were following the tournament. And that was quite the undertaking. I think I made 240 videos for this course in the span of about 7 or 8 days. So it was just absolute nose to the grindstone, really exhausting, but I'm very happy with the final product. I wanted to produce something something evergreen that people could keep coming back to, and that course is awesome on essential checkmate patterns in chess. Let's watch MVL's game while we're talking. He's going to win here. No stalemates. So Calbius, thanks for the Twitch Prime. Thanks, Mirko. Says, loving the job you're doing with Chessable, John. Yeah, that's a credit to our team. Our team has been doing awesome work. Sounds like you only had time for one queen. Yeah, that's the way it's been going right now. Also, you know, we're basically still in a lockdown situation, semi-lockdown. Things are gradually opening up, but the dating scene is not too happening right now. 2 out of 2, is this really John? I know, right? How could it be? I'm going to grab my coffee real quick, guys. I'll be right back. There we go. Some fresh MJB on deck, guys. Let's get it. Can we make it 3 out of 3? Okay, winning for white. Zaur Mamedov. And I think there will be 1 game left, if that. Black trying to demonstrate knowledge of the Lucena position. Perchik, thank you for subbing. 7 months. Says welcome back, John. Thank you so much, man. You and Danny Wrench would make a great couple. Danny is a devoted family man. I think he has 3 or 4 kids. His wife is lovely, by the way. I met her many years ago in Arizona. Danny used to run tournaments. Okay, Mikola Bortnik. Let's play You Know What Time It Is. You know what time it is. It's time to retreat the queen to d8. Okay, a6. This is a tricky move order where white tries to withhold d4, at least for the time being. Yes, Team Scandy. I love it, guys. Thank you. Thanks for the support. Yeah, bishop b3, savvy. They're wising up against the Scandy, guys. Flank attack, yeah. The flank attack... It's not as effective if white hasn't committed the pawn yet here. But then again, white lacks some center control, so... I think I might go ahead and play c5 here. Try to grab some space. I mean, if white's not going for d4, well, I guess he is. Yeah, I think I'll take now. CST Gene, thank you for gifting to New Manana. Very much appreciated. All right, bishop e7. Kind of looks like a French defense now. Queen f3, I would expect. And now maybe knight e7, looking for knight e5 or knight c5. I would be inviting the interesting bishop takes e6. I could also play queen c7 here. Maybe followed by knight c6. Or just bishop d7. Let's play queen c7. I'm just not sure about knight d7, bishop takes e6. So this might be a bit better. Is this going on YouTube later? Yep, I will upload it. For sure. Okay, now let's play bishop d7. I just really want to keep an eye on this. This sometimes happens in the Sicilian, by the way. There are sometimes lines of the open Sicilian where black has to be very cautious about a sacrifice here. And now knight c6, I'm thinking. Yeah, let's go ahead and develop. Yeah, looks like a Rubinstein. Agreed. Variation of the French. First sip of coffee for today. Always the best. Fuzzy Bebop, thank you for subbing. Tier 1. A3, so kind of a modest reply. Tempted to play knight a5 followed by knight c4, but I'm not quite ready for that yet. Let's just play rook c8. I could also play knight e5 followed by knight c4. Knight e4, okay. I think I'm going to take and then play bishop here. If bishop f4, I was thinking queen b6. Okay, so he goes there. So he's probably looking for bishop c2. Okay, let's take. Attack the queen. Take. Bring the rook over. Hey, Crafty Raph, thank you for subbing 2 months. Crafty Raph is the creator of the Checkmate Patterns manual. He made, of course, Checkmate Patterns back in 2019. Now it's been expanded with his help to create the Checkmate Patterns manual. So good to have the author himself in the chat. Thanks again, Crafty Raph. I'm a little bit worse here. I don't think it's anything to be super concerned about, but I'm a bit tied up. Let's go here. Still trying to eye up the pawn on b2, although I will have to resolve this situation first. Goes there. Interesting. Okay, I'm just going to go back. I'm down on the clock, so need to speed up slightly. He's probably going rook d4. I'm trying not to trade for the moment. Maybe e5 coming up. Ooh, is he just going to run? He's just going to make a pass pawn. Interesting. Ah, wow. That just cost me a bishop. Yeah. That just straight up costs me a bishop. I didn't think that was going to happen so fast, but it did. I'll play this out, but this is losing. Definitely miscounted that one. Okay, well, he still has to figure out how to keep pieces on board to try to win. Pawns on board, mainly. He's doing a good job so far. Now, probably just a waiting move. Yeah, that'll do it. Okay. I was going to resign, but yeah, life comes at you fast indeed. Got low on time there. I think I should have kept queens on. Probably here. Well, okay. It really doesn't even seem like this should be much trouble, but surprisingly, yeah, f5 actually really cost me. I maybe should have just marched my king over first. After this, it was like a downward spiral. b4, and that c-pawn is just too much. My bishop is in a poor spot too, because he gets to play c6 with tempo. Chalk up that loss. So yeah, my bishop was in real tough shape there. Okay, that happens sometimes in time pressure. Never play f6. Maybe never play f5 as well. f5 kind of felt wrong, but I was trying to get my pawn majority going. But yeah, I probably should have played king here. Start bringing it up. I'm a little bit worse here, but nothing major. Okay, let's take a look at Dubov's game. Well played by my opponent there, though. Kept the pressure on. Looks like Dubov's going to win. He's up 2 pawns. Thank you, Abhishek. Says it's okay, John. You played great. Thanks for the positive words. Perchik, thanks for the 200 bits. Says I'm up to 1584 on chess.com after watching your content on Chessable. Good to hear. Very good to hear. Okay, so Dubov converted. Who else we got in the mix that we can watch? Let's watch Andrew's game. Penguin, he wins. He moves to 3 points. 3 out of 3. Demchenko again in a drawn ending against very strong IM. Zenzaya, I believe is her first name. Abdul Malik. Oh, Andrew lost that? Oh. I thought he was on the winning side there. Sorry, Andrew. I thought we were looking at it from White's point of view and Andrew was white. Which I think we were looking at it from White's point of view, but Andrew was black. Okay, last game of the round, another bishop and knight versus king. Let's see it. Ooh, I would go towards the center there, king e7. But black is trying to hang out in the opposite color corner. Also makes sense. Okay, black is almost losing on time. And they do lose on time. Oh, so we will be denied the information as to whether white can do this checkmate. But that's the clock for you. All right. Round 4. Playing GM Second Life. Oh, is this... Oh, no. Okay, this looked like one of our Chessable authors, Alex Kolovich, for a second, but it's Grandmaster Florian Jenny. Different guy entirely. It really looked like Kolovich from his little picture there. Against that one, I'll play Queen A4. Niall Homer, thanks for the 19 months. Thank you, says good luck for the remaining games. Thank you very much. C5. I think I take here, and then castle. Usually black takes with the bishop. And Thunderdazzle, thanks for subbing 19 months from Thunderdazzle. Let's go bishop f4. I will play rook ad1. It's always a question whether you play rook ad1 or rook fd1, but I'll choose the a rook for now. And let's see if black breaks through in the center with d5, or if they settle for a d6 approach, or maybe just keep the pawn on d7. I think all are legit. I don't think d5 is the best approach anymore because I do have knight e5 stuff. Rook c8. Okay, I'm just going to step back. Just get out of the range of the rook along the file. Wait and see what black wants to do here. I was thinking about knight b5 as well, but it feels a bit premature. So is c4 an issue here? Maybe. Yeah, that might have been a mistake on my part. Suddenly don't like my position very much. Guess I'll play queen d3. I gotta defend this somehow and try to avoid the pawn structure damage. Hello, Neuro. So now this one, maybe knight e5. So if rook takes, I can play knight takes. Pin this up. Still complicated. Naya Cat, that's great to hear. Said they're loving the YouTube content, multiplying their interest in chess dramatically. Thank you. Thanks for the well wishes today. Bishop a6. Okay, so abandoning that diagonal altogether. Let's play b3. And b5. Okay, yeah, I was wondering if black was going to do this. It does look pretty good. Just all-out offensive against that c-pawn. I'm going to go here. Try to eye up a7. And Big Steve gifting us up to a Naya Cat. Awesome. Thanks for that, Big Steve. I guess take on a7. Yeah, let's take here. Feels a little dangerous, though. Expecting rook a8. Then I'll play queen back to e3, I think. Yeah, Big Steve is an ardent supporter of the channel. Thanks to Big Steve. I have knight c6 also. But I think I want to keep that knight for now. So let's do this. Let's go here. Just stop any rook a2 business. I am allowing bishop b4, but I think rook c2 should be all right. I'm going to try to stir something up on the king side. I got to look for counterplay here, so maybe give my queen access somewhere along this rank. Although I will admit, this feels a little ticky-tack. Yeah, especially in view of stuff like that. Okay, let's go here. Okay, gonna be a time scramble though. I'm going to give them the pawn and try to attack as best I can. Maybe knight here, knight here. Just play for the initiative and time pressure. It's all you can do. Oh, wow, nicely spotted. That's a big move. I'm going to resign. Yeah, take. If I take, they have rook takes f4. That was well spotted. Took me by surprise. I wasn't really liking my position after black played b5. I feel like this is where he was able to seize the initiative. I didn't solve the issue as far as c4. And also I think queen b1 was a suspect move. That feels too slow. Not incisive enough. Okay. But yeah, nicely played. Queen takes d1. That'll give us a chance to watch some other games, though. Fallujah, maybe, against Dr. Bassem. Bassem Amin. Oops. Closed the wrong game. What is this position? Fallujah down a queen for 2 minors, but he has some sort of fortress is what he's going to argue. Doesn't look like a fortress that's going to hold. Knight check, though, did stop king f4. This would be a funny draw. Don't think black wants that, though. Okay, now black can take a6. Got to be winning for black, but tricky. White has a pair of knights, which in time pressure, as we know, if you have a knight, you have a chance, always. It's an iron law of chess. C5 now. C5 is good. And down goes Fallujah. Okay. Yeah, Basema Min is really strong. This guy is very good. He's also a doctor, in addition to a grandmaster. So quite the accomplished dude. Let's watch Grishuk. Grishuk, better in a rook ending. Can he win, though? Gonna be close. He almost flagged there. Watch that clock, Sasha. Okay, rook back now. This might be winning? Yeah, because... Okay, nice. Yeah, white can't reach the pawn in time. Very nicely played. That was clever what he did right there. He didn't hurry to try to queen, because he knew that he had the white king cut off. And I talk about this in 100 endgames you must know, but when the pawn gets 2 ranks separated from the king, then the rook can hunt it down. So, yeah, even here with white threatening to promote, now there's 3 ranks of just dead space in between the white king and the pawn, and white is not in time to close the gap and save the pawn. Magnus really punted on those checkmate patterns, says Perchik. Yeah, he's referring to the video we released. We had the participants in the Chessable Masters take the final test in the checkmate patterns manual. Let's watch Krikor. He lost. And it was really interesting to see the different levels of seriousness that they approached the task. Yeah, Crafty Raph just linked. I think Magnus was not happy with his performance, let's put it that way. But he did show insight into his thought process, and he solved the set a lot faster than other people, but he had lower accuracy. Okay. How many games are left in this one? Vincent Kamer wins. Alex Rustamov wins. Hey, Turnip Swagger. See you later. Thanks for tuning in. AKD, thanks for subbing. 3 months. Says, hi, John. Hello to you, AKD. Yeah, I think we have a slight break right now. Is that right? Always hard to know when the breaks occur. Just looking at the information at the moment. Not really updating. Hans is on 3 out of 3. Potentially 4 out of 4. Because we just finished round 4. D-Pawn opener, hello. Thank you, AKD, for recommending my vids. Appreciate that. Trying to see if there's any games still going. I think everything is done for the round. Do you guys know if we're on break? Hans is on 4 out of 4. Okay, well, good luck to Hans. I'm sure he's streaming this right now. He's done well. I saw in the last Title Tuesday he had a very strong performance. I think he made the final 8. Okay, so we're on a slight break here. I'm going to step away for a moment. I'll be right back, guys. We got the coffee, though. We'll be good for the second half of this tournament. Be right back. All right. Hello, Greenhorn Chess. Thank you, Rushwind. All right, back just in time. Masha from Russia, next opponent. I'm on 2 out of 4. Need to improve. Lost my last couple games. No better time than now to improve the score. Okay, let's play a semi-Slav. Take the pawn. White going for a fianchetto line. A4. Play A5. Often you can support the pawn on C4 with knight B6 in this type of situation. Let's play the bishop here. Put some indirect pressure on white's center. Yeah, like here. Also, I'm hitting this now. Okay, so white might be going queen E2 next. I think that's all right. I think I can castle, and on queen E2, play E5. I think this is the way to do it. Take, and then knight G4. Knight's protected by the bishop. If knight takes C4, we could just have trades, and then I'll take the pawn on E5 at the end. Hello, Craig. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Okay, take here. So equal material after all that, but I feel like black should be better here because this bishop is going to be harder to get in the game than this bishop, I feel like. So maybe a slight edge for me in this position. Let's go rook E8. Okay, rook D1. Just thinking if F4 is an issue here, or if I can play Queen C7. Queen C7, F4. I think I can play F5 at that point. Should be fine. But just double checking because you don't want to blunder something here. Let's do it. Let's go here. Because Queen E7, F4. I guess I could still play... No, F5, Queen takes E5 in that case. So yeah, I like this way a little bit better. Could avoid a queen trade. Oh, nice, CST Gene. They said, totally caught me off guard when you gave the shout out to Craig, because that's their name as well. Ooh, now I get this move in. This is juicy, due to the F3 square. Knight E2, knight F3 check. That's going to be problematic for white's king, I think. Even bishop F3 in that position. Or something slower, just rook A D8, let's say. Okay, yeah, so now I could play knight F3 check and gain the light squared bishop. There's other moves too, though. But I think I like that best. Very simple. Effective. Mm-hmm. Because I think with the pawns arranged like this, the light squares should always be a problem. Knight D5 is interesting. So going after this bishop. Fair enough. Okay, let's go here. Take. So now opposite color bishops. Controlling the D1 square, that's useful. Okay, let's just play B6, solidify this chain. Hey, Goka, thanks for catching the stream. Thanks for the 10 bits. Can I deliver one of the checkmate patterns like on Chessable? We shall see. We're a long ways from that here. But you never know. Okay, let's go here. I have an idea in mind. If bishop e3, I think I can go bishop d1. And then win a4. That's what I'm looking to do. Ah, but there's queen c4. Yeah, queen c4 does defend there. Trying to figure out something to do quickly here. Let's play queen e6. I know I'm allowing a5 with this, but got to make a decision, and I feel like controlling these squares is important. So let's take now. Oh, bishop's under attack. Yikes. Okay, let's go here. And now attack down the long diagonal. That'll be the plan. Modifying the plan. Bishop a8, try to get the queen involved. Watch out for rook d1 in some positions too. That could be helpful. Let's go here. A lot of pressure on that diagonal. Threaten mate. And deliver mate. Okay. Hey, landed it. Messy game. But at least the light square weaknesses did prevail in the end. In my favor. But yeah, I think she was defending well for a while. There were some traps I was trying to set up. Like if queen c4. Maybe queen c4 is okay. Yeah, I was envisioning some sort of like take rook d1 idea, or rook d1 right away when, you know, I could do something like this, but the other rook does protect. The bishop on a8 is like invisible. Yeah, Damiano's bishop mate. So whoever said about the checkmate pattern, yeah, that is a Damiano's bishop mate. Are you Nostradamus or something? If you played queen h3 earlier, how does she stop mate? She missed mate. Really? A lot of claims being made in the chat. Queen h3, when did I have an opportunity for that? And I could play it around here, but my bishop is not on f3 to support. Maybe around here? Yeah, truth be told, guys, I wasn't even looking in that direction. I should have. I was mostly focused on getting the queen here or here at some point. You know, really one of these squares. I don't think she missed mate. I think I had everything under control. And here I had check. This was a mate that I missed. So whoever spotted that, well done. So yeah, that was working. I played queen d5, also looks pretty good. But yeah, queen e1 was game over there. All right. How about Grishuk and Bortnik? Grishuk wins. He is on 5 out of 5. Oh, Karyakin is playing too. Okay. Karyakin versus Bassam. Karyakin wins. Fabiano playing. Fabiano wins. How did Hans do? Hans crushed. Look at that. Wow. This is a Croatian grandmaster, right? Ivan Saric. Yeah, this guy's good. Look at Hans go. So he's got to be the top streamer right now, unless Hikaru is up there. Hikaru sometimes quits this tournament if he loses an early game, but he has 4.5 out of 5. So I suspect he'll stick around. Thank you, Soaking Wet Sai. I've never played Singularity Chess, no. I have no idea what that is. Let's try to get a game up here. I think everything's done. Okay, round 6 coming up. Have I watched The Last Dance, the documentary on Michael Jordan and the Bulls? No, I haven't. I've heard great things about it, though. Okay, let's play Knight F3 this game. Against FM Jonas. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, Big Steve. Take it easy. Have a good rest of your day. Okay, let's get the bishop out. Pretty quiet system for black. Could transpose to the Cambridge Springs, though, which is what we have here. Just takes back. Okay, that's interesting. I think I'm supposed to go bishop d3 here and meet knight e4 with castles, I want to say. Is that right? I think I meet that with castles. Or queen c2, maybe? No, I'm going to try castles. But if I don't break the position open here, I probably don't have much. So maybe e4. Take and then knight takes. Yeah, I'll try to watch that when I get a chance. I do play the white side of the Grunfeld, yeah. Grunfeld's a tough opening. I have a game on my channel against Ding Loren. Sorry, my phone is making noise. I'm trying to silence it. But yeah, Ding Loren played the Grunfeld against me. This was in the Pro Chess League from a couple years ago. Okay, so I'm going to try to exploit black's king in the center. I don't know if I'll be successful in doing that, but... Ooh, he's going to castle queenside, maybe. That's interesting. That's a clear indication he's thinking about that. Okay, I'm going to play knight e5 and put pressure on c6. Maybe with castle's bishop takes c6 in mind, although I'm skeptical as to whether that works. Phone trying to overshadow the PC fan. Yeah, exactly. You guys thought that was your phone. Nice. I had an alarm set to call my parents. My dad had surgery last week. And my mom also had some minor surgery. So there's been a lot of stuff going on in my family. Yes, Fiddler is playing. I should look at one of his games when I get a chance. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I think everyone's going to be all right. It was scheduled surgery. You know, it's just always nerve-wracking. Okay, my opponent's really thinking here. He knows that I'm eyeing up c6. I mean, I'm threatening knight takes c6 right now. Okay, plays that move. Really feels like f7 is going to be vulnerable. Like I'm looking at queen f3, for instance, although black's queen on a5 is doing a pretty good job of holding stuff at the moment. I'm going to play queen f3. If black takes, they get mated. Whoa, he did take. This is mate in 2. Hey, we'll take it. I just motioned bishop takes e4. Like, if black takes it, they do get mated in 2. And then that move appeared on the board. Why can't that happen more often? That was great. Did he really have to play bishop d5? I mean, he thought for over a minute on that move and then played it, but that did not seem necessary at all. Then again, I know I'm threatening c6 here, but I really thought something like castles or... Yeah, okay. I mean, I can see the dilemma, but castles is probably what black should play. I wasn't sure if this was working out, because I want to do this and then go after a5 and d8. But the problem is here black doesn't have to take. I mean, they might be able to play a move like bishop d6, something along those lines. Although it looks scary, I will admit, so I can see why he thought. Even title players blunder mate. Exactly. Okay, now we have a chance to check out some games. Who's leading here? A lot of players on 5 out of 5. Let's watch Hans. I feel like he's playing someone really good right now. He must be. Hanzo Hasahi. Ooh, he lost. Okay. He lost very quickly, too. Losing a piece. Bishop on a6. All right. Let's watch Fabiano, then. My phone is still making noise. It won't stop. I think it's because I hit snooze on the alarm. Okay, I think we're all good now. Sorry if I gave you guys trauma there with your daily alarms. Thank you, Matador. G6, so Fabiano's going to play king G7 to try to escape. Is there some bishop H6 operation? Okay, this is kind of fizzling. Equal material. Probably a draw. Maybe Fabiano's a little bit better here. His king is more active. He can play c4 to cramp white. Yeah, Onoshuk's a bit worse. That phone alarm was my ex's alarm sound. No kidding. Says Likest. So yeah, trauma there. Oh, I'm sorry. That is like the default alarm sound on a lot of phones. Hey, John, I love to see your comment on the Chessable Masters. You even got a variation neither Yasser or Peter saw. That was great proof of your GM level. Thank you, Shernick. You're too kind. If only that were the case. If I could just give one variation on stream and everyone's like, John, that's why you should be a GM. I would love that. They should give out norms for that. No, but thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Thanks to everyone tuning in for the Chessable Masters. So this is looking like it's headed for a draw. White trying something here, but black is going to hunt down that pawn. Yeah, okay. So white's going to possibly win this, but same color bishops with this one pawn this far back, easy draw. Because always black can sacrifice the bishop. It's too hard to force the bishop away without ever allowing the pawn to be captured. Like white will now try bishop f4, but yeah, I don't think this will be very successful. Fabiano's going to attack the pawn from behind. Interesting. Okay. Okay, now the pawn does get to f5. But still, I think this is a draw. Because this is actually very instructive. His king is on the correct side of the pawn. This is another thing I go over in 100 endgames. So in this way, white can't ever run an interference with their bishop on e5. So you will see that he's going to put his bishop in on f6, and he's going to try to force the bishop away. But black can always defend here. Importantly, white can't play bishop e5 in those instances because of the king on e4 helping guard that square. This is why this is a draw. That's quite instructive, in fact, in how Fabiano played that by getting the king around behind the white f-pawn. If the king were on g4, on the other side of the pawn, then white would be able to do that bishop e5 operation. Now here it's going to liquidate. That's cool to see those endgames in action. So draw there. Karyakin versus Chess Warrior. Two knights versus two bishops. The eternal battle. That's usually good for the bishops. Hello, Dr. Harry says, hi, John. I'm in London. Huge fan of yours and learn with every one of your videos. Many thanks and all the best for your parents' recovery. Thank you. Thanks a lot. That does mean a lot. Thank you. Yeah, right, Keith? That Fabiano is pretty decent. Okay, this is not looking good for white because, yeah, that pawn drops off. Karyakin, they both have to be careful on the clock, though. But, yeah, Karyakin's dead winning here. King g4. Oh, okay. That's probably also winning. That's a tough pawn to stop. e2 check and promote. So Karyakin gets to 6 out of 6. Yeah, he's a beast. Last game of the round here. Rook and 2 versus Rook and 1. Looks like a draw. Black's a little cramped, but yeah, I think this is going to be too tough for white to win. I apologize for the fan, guys. I don't know why it's just going crazy right now. Maybe it's just yelling at me because I haven't streamed for a while. But sorry about that if you guys can hear it. It's worse than the leaf blower when the leaf blowers are outside my place. Okay, still looking very drawn here. It's possible white could lose this if they're not careful. For example, if there's a check king here and white blocks, I think that will lose because of the trebuchet position, where there's a white king on e6 and a black king on g5. They're both attacking each other's pawns and defending, but if it's white to move, white would lose there. Same thing if it were black to move, actually. I have Jolly Bishop. Yeah, truthfully, I just need to upgrade this machine. It's time to do that. Okay. So white's now gonna... Oh, okay. White's gonna win f6. Ooh, and black... Okay, this is getting a little sketchy for black now. I think they're still drawing here, because the rook is on the long side. They have a lot of checks. They can get their king over now a bit. Or king h6 now would be good. This is tricky, though, in time pressure for sure. Black has no time. Oh, I think black's gonna lose this. Check. Check. Gotta check. And then rook f8. Nope. No, don't play there. Yeah, it's just time pressure. Yeah, never say never. Whoa, what? Queen g8. What? We're getting some lag now. Okay. This might be server-wide lag. Or it might be on my end. Yeah, I think they both were a little panicky there at the end, especially black. All right. And we're off. Round number 7. Let's keep the momentum going, guys. I'm playing an FM. Hey, Tomas. It's going okay so far. Yeah, having fun? Yeah, I think you're right, Jolly Bishop. I probably will do a custom build. And thank you, Adam Rook, by the way. Don't know if my opponent's here. He could be rushing to get his MJB brewed before round 7 and just was not successful in getting back to his computer. Proto Spice Boy, thank you. Good to hear that, man. What are the standings like here? If it updates. So 5 players on 6 out of 6. We seeing Grishuk Karyakin right now? Nope, they're playing different players. Okay. Hikaru is playing Vincent Kamer. Let's check out that game really quick. I know this is going to be slightly cut off, but my opponent is still not moving. Okay, Hikaru's playing a flank system there. MJB, always on time and always good when it should. Busanaru, I was mostly busy with chessable work. This course that I was doing the videos for, the Checkmate Patterns Manual, which I will link for you if you're curious. Crafty Raph's in the chat. He might be able to link it again, but... Oh, my opponent's here. Okay. So yeah, that did eat up a lot of time. So he basically has to play a bullet game here. With an increment, it must be said. I'll try to keep things a little sharper for that reason. So in this type of situation, like probably I should err on the side of playing a little more aggressive. When appropriate, of course. Let's see, knight c5. Potentially good. Let's do that. Maybe I can attack. Maybe. Let's just take here, though, for now. Strategically, I like my position, though, already. This is quite nice. I'm just going to get ready to castle. Because I can bring a knight into c4 later, especially if he puts a bishop on, say, b2. That's looking really good. Okay. Let's go here. Now, I see some possibilities with, like, check and maybe an attack down the h-file, but not sure logistically how that works. It's interesting to contemplate, though. He really wants me to take so he can jump his knight in. I think I'm just going to play knight b6. Queen b6, king h1, I wasn't quite seeing the follow-up, so I'm just going to play like this. Maybe knight c4 coming up. Watch John get down on time. I'll try not to, guys. I know that would just infuriate you, so I will try not to. Knight c4. Interesting. I'm going to try it. Proto Spice Boy, thanks for subbing on Twitch Prime. Okay, let's check. Trying to play aggressive as advertised. Don't know how this is working out. Again, knight d5. Plays his knight back there. Okay. All right, let's just castle now. I'm going to dare him to take that pawn. So his coordination looks a little off here. Okay, bring this back. Some rook takes h3 stuff brewing. if I can get it going. Scar G6. Looking for rook in. Well, whoever said time pressure was right. Okay, I'm going to go for this. You can take F7. Nice. Attacking. Oh, rook there. Okay. Oh, maybe I should have played A2? What's going on here? Take. This is a funny game. Somehow winning after all this. Completely undeserved. That was such a bad game. Well, you guys were right again. The chat is just Nostradamus today with these predictions. Someone, I think it was Perchik, said, watch John get in time pressure again. I was down a piece. He was not looking good for the home team. He played a nice move here. Queen takes F7 check. Warding off the rook H1 mate idea. Wow. I'm a little embarrassed to win that game, for sure. But he let my A-pawn get too far down the board. I think I'm winning after, yeah, A2. I mean, bishop D4 temporarily defends, but looks like he can't get his rook back into a suitable defensive position, and I can cut off his king, very important. Yeah. Okay, well, sometimes you win ugly in chess. Firouzja walking his king in, and he's going to win that. Queen H4 on 14th move. Yeah, I was debating bringing my queen to the H-file at various times. I couldn't figure out a circumstance where that was working out. But queen B6 check, rook takes H2 was another idea. If I had another queen that could come to H4, that might have worked, but 3 more of those? Yeah, I'll try. I don't know if I want to win exactly like that, but I'll try. We're going to have a draw here. I would think, although this is Title Tuesday, you never know, as we just saw. Chat predicts 8 out of 10. That would be awesome. That was such a sloppy game. I think we have maybe one more break here. Possibly after this round. Let's see. The game did not start right away. 6-minute break. Okay. Yeah, 7 out of 10 is my best Title Tuesday score, as verified by the chat. Hey, Danny boy. This is Big Fan from Quebec, Canada. Thank you, our neighbor to the north. And we are your neighbor to the south. Thank you for tuning in. You're getting lucky today. 2 missed checkmates and a guy that wasted a minute. Yeah, I can't disagree. Definitely this last game. The missed checkmate, I mean, he was under pressure. He used, I assume you're talking about the queen takes f7, queen d7 game. He did burn a lot of time prior to making that bishop d5 move, but he did blunder on the next move. John, is amateur to IM still your first recommendation for an improving player? I don't know if I've ever said that would be my first recommendation. Definitely not, because that would be over the heads of a lot of people who are just starting out in the game. I would probably get, you know, some sort of general tactics manual, something to work on calculation. We have a lot of courses like that on Chessable, like this Checkmate Patterns Manual. Check out Alan B's courses on Chessable. He has a series of free courses called On the Attack, where you can drill for each piece. So there's On the Attack Knights, On the Attack Bishops, On the Attack Rooks, etc. I'll link you to one of them. Totally free courses. He's awesome. So if you're especially having trouble with piece blunders of certain types, that would be a good series to drill. But there are a lot of good print books out there too, of course. There's a book by Dan Heisman that we also have on Chessable. It's in print as well, called, oh, the name of it's escaping me. Back to Basics Tactics, that I really like. Yeah, Back to Basics Tactics. So that's another one that has a lot of good material for beginning players. Yeah, asking, is it safe, for instance, is a key thing that Heisman stresses that people should ask when they're starting out in chess, and really all the time in chess. Is your move safe that you're considering? Okay, I'll be right back. We're going to start up in just a couple minutes here. Last break before the final push. Oh, thank you for the subscription, Plunder My Blunder, by the way. 29 months. Thank you very much. Yeah, went temporarily invisible there. Yeah, the fan did calm down. It's a miracle. Okay. Let's hope that that sticks for the rest of the tournament. So Hanzo is in first place here. Who is this player? Ah, Nordierbeck. Yeah, this is a strong young grandmaster. I want to say this guy is one of the youngest grandmasters of all time. I don't know a whole lot about him. But 7 out of 7. And Kirill Shevchenko in second place, 6.5 out of 7. 16 years old. Wow. This guy from Ukraine. The youngsters, man. Hey, Dimmy Chess. This is just joining. How's it been going so far? It's been going all right. Very messy games, but I'm on 5 out of 7. John, do you find you play better chess when you've had a break and you're fresh, or is it worse? Good question. I mean, definitely playing fresh helps, but I think I play my best chess when I'm very active. You know, I'm playing lots of tournaments over the board or even online. When I do what I did in the past month, which is really not play a whole lot of chess on my own, that's when it can be a little shaky, although I do tend to get it back pretty fast, I will say. I think with my playing style, it's more solid, strategic. I don't tend to lose a lot of sharpness because, you know, sharpness is not the thing that I go for mostly. So that helps in bouncing back after a break. Playing Grandmaster Tigra. Boris Savchenko. Okay. Let's play a Sicilian this time. I almost reached for the D-pawn, but no, we'll go with the Sicilian. Classical. Yield classical Sicilian. The F3 variation. Okay. King B1. Just debating what I want to do here. Okay, let's play Queen C7. I'm always a little leery of the sacks on B5 if I do this, but I don't think it's working out so well for him, so I'll play it. Let's bring this back now. Okay, develop. Going bishop h3. Interesting. I'll take him up on that offer. Knight e5, hit the pawn, also menace this. Yeah, let's go here. Okay, I'm going to play b4. Try to play for the initiative. Maybe a knight a3 move dropping in the position. We shall see. Yeah, let's play rook b8. If queen d4, I think I can play knight a3. It's a nice shot. Because I have bishop f6 coming in the end. So I'll try to play against his king. He just says, I'm not afraid of you, buddy. Fair play. Okay. I'm looking for mate, but is it there? Knight a3, take, king a1, queen b7. Now he just takes. Yeah, and this is the type of thing that burns a lot of time. Okay, let's go here. B3. B3, I'll go check, I think. Spent a little too long on these last couple of moves. 47 seconds is a long time. I was very tempted to look for mate there, though. He's hitting the bishop as well. He's going after g7. Missed that. Well, let's do this. See what happens. Hitting the queen. He's got to watch queen c3 at all times. So he's got to play like queen d4. Most likely. Place queen there. Okay, I guess I'll take. Let's take. Can he take here? I don't know. Maybe I can do this. Oh, he just takes there. Wow. All right, let's try it. Do or die. So if he goes here, I have to play king c6. I guess he can always trade queens, although his king will remain weak. Got to step here. What's the deal? Rook takes? Huh. Trying for rook e2. Almost flagging here. Oh, you can just push now. That's not good. I think I actually had a decent position there, but time was not my friend. Yeah. I think I maybe had something. At least possibly a draw. He picked off that pawn, and granted he has a lot of pawns here, but his back rank is weak. I mean, maybe I should take this pawn in hindsight. Yeah, bishop f1 was annoying. Because I wanted to go rook e2, rook e1. But he put a stop to that, and I couldn't find like a satisfactory solution here. Yeah, king a7 was just play something. I should take the pawn, something like that here. Yeah, let's take a look at the engine for a second on that one. Chalk up that loss. I'm curious as well where I could have improved. Yeah, I spent too long on the opening. Some of those early decisions. It says that he's winning here, or big advantage. This is sort of a nightmare position to play. Fan goes burr, yes. Okay, rook d8 is actually correct. What happens if I take on g5? I just played rook d8 on instinct. Okay, he can pick up this rook with a series of checks. Yeah, not even very complicated, I guess. King here, there's check here. If here, there's check here as well. Okay. And if I go back to the 7th rank, there's check on e7. Okay, yeah, so it was looking bad. Okay, the fan is just going to go nuts if I keep doing that, so let's try to look at one of the top guys. Oh, look at that. Anish on YouTube. Anish Giri. Check out his YouTube channel. He recently started it. Let's watch him. I think he reached about 10,000 subscribers on YouTube without posting any videos, which is impressive. Can we see a queen d8 Scandi from you in this tournament? I would love to see some more middle game plans. Yeah, I played it in one of the early rounds, actually. So if you check out the VOD here, you'll be able to see it. Okay, Anish wins. He's up 2 pawns and too much for black to handle here. Ooh, Hikaru. Ooh, are we going to see Hikaru versus Fabiano in the next round? I think we are. Wait, did I misread the standings last round? I thought there was only one other player a half point back. So evidently... Wait, what happened to the guy on 7 out of 7? Where is he? There's Shevchenko. This guy... Okay, this was the guy I thought was on 6.5. Yeah, and he must have lost. He was banned? RIP to the 7 out of 7 guy. That's not good. Yeah, when they disappear from the standings, you know something's up. Yeah, Hizaro Geyer. Yeah. I did not see him there on the standings. Okay, Alexander Ledikov. Let's play in English this game. NM from Russia. Yikes, LOL, says Philby. Yeah, exactly. He wants a Shigorin. I'm going to play G3. Maybe he'll play E5. We'll get some sort of King's English. How do I want to play this? Let's just play... Always torn E3, knight GE2, or the knight F3 plan. Let's play E3, knight GE2. So what happens to the guys who lost to the cheater? Yeah, that's always a problem, Dr. Xmasisi. They can't really go back in time and fix it based on the tournament. Is this really a threat? I guess it is. But I kind of want to see what happens if he takes that pawn. I have some ideas. Let's dare him. You know, we're not playing for prizes at this point. We always play for fun. If we win something, great. But I want to see what happens if he takes here and I play d5. This looks interesting. He could play d5 himself, but then I might have knight f4, for instance. Feels like this is definitely the critical move. Don't forget your time? Yeah. Constant problem for me. All right, so he's going to try it. This may not be sound for me, but it's going to put the pressure on him. There's queen a4 ideas. It's basically my argument here. Yeah, this is like a reverse dragon. He takes. Okay. So is he going to play his knight into d4? Maybe that's the idea. I was going to take with a queen and then go queen b5 check, but maybe he's going to do knight d4 against that. So let me think. Nah, I'll still take with the queen. So the compensation may not be here, guys. But we'll find out. Let's go rook e1. 5-second game for Fabi versus Hikaru. Ooh, quick draw, huh? Okay, now I can at least play this move, which I probably should take him up on. Get my pawn back. I'm surprised that Hikaru did a draw that fast. I mean, I'm surprised Fabi did too. I mean, I would think normally they'd fight it out, but guess they have their reasons. And he offers me a draw. What is going on here? Oh, I don't want to draw. Let's push h5 if I get the chance. Queen there. Okay. Play bishop h3. And now bishop g4 looks pretty decent. Just control this f3 square. Hyper control. I expect him to put a rook on e8. Makes sense. Let's just play king g2. Knight e4 could be coming in the future. I don't know that I want to play it yet because of queen e5 and the d5 pawn is a little loose. I do like my position here, though. I think I'm slightly better with his king and his knight especially being a bit of a bother. I don't know, though. Rook e3, maybe? Rook e3 seems interesting. Let's try that. And if he takes, I take it with a pawn. Try to go after his knight. Otherwise, I'm just looking to double and see what happens. Plays c5, so a little rescue operation. Okay. Let's take. Double. d5. Maybe activate my knight now? Look for this square where I'd be threatening the big knight d7. Okay, go a3, maybe b4, knight c5, we'll see. Time getting down there, still some pressure though. He might just want to trade rook e8. He does, okay. I'm going to try to be ambitious here and maybe take with the pawn if he takes. Yeah, let's try it. Knight b5. Let's go here. He's got to watch out. Like queen e5 runs into that. Okay, let's try to weaken. I know I'm giving up g3 here, but I'm going to go for it, see what happens. Whoa, take. Where's my mate? Don't see a checkmate. Oh, just take his bishop. No, don't take his bishop. Ah. Ooh, I didn't see a checkmate here. Is there one? I don't see it still. His bishop's defended. If I take, he takes with the knight. I almost played that, but it repetitioned. Because if I play a quiet move here, he's going to have checks against me. I think that's fair. That was a pretty even game. I might have even been worse. So many options. Yeah, exactly. There might be some series of checks that eventually win. Oh, did I have bishop g6 check? Probably that's the way to go. Here. Yeah, this wins. Here. Oh, no, it doesn't because the bishop hangs. Yeah, that's a lot to figure out. Check the engine for mate. Let's see. All right. Can't resist, right? Lines. Knight f8. Did I play that? I was kind of shocked he gave me f7. Yeah, I could also take with a bishop, I guess, but this just looks so natural. Knight e6 is good. So I had the wherewithal to play that. So the engine wants to go check. Here, knight f8. Ah, here runs into this. So let's say king g7. And that's mate in 2. Okay. Instead, king h8 and knight g6 double check wins the queen. There's a great course called the Checkmate Patterns Manual. You should, yeah, exactly. I don't feel too bad about that one, despite the massive plus score there. Let's check this game out. Okay, it was more than 5 moves, but this is a well-known drawing line in the Berlin defense. Actually, Danya has drawn with Naka in exactly this way, and he's talked about it at length on his streams. Like, Danya doesn't know what to do against the Berlin, he says. So this might be Naka's way of saying, like, I'm willing to give you a draw because I'm playing black here, and a lot of times white takes it. Last round coming up. So those two guys are on 8 out of 9, along with a bunch of other players. That was probably just a strategic draw for them, even though you would like to see them fight it out. But we all know that that's part of chess, the top level especially. Mate with queen plus knight will be included in Checkmate Patterns Volume 2, says Crafty Raph. Good, okay. I mean, we have some mates with queen plus knight in the course, but we may need some advanced patterns, right, Raph? Okay, this is the last game of the round. Ah, that's right. Yeah, it's the top 8 that go on to the knockout stage. So that's probably a further reason for them to be okay with a draw. Moyen 120, thank you. I'm on a positive score right now. Let's try to get it up to 6.5 in the final game. Okay. Crazy Girl 99. Let's stick with d4. I've been playing it throughout the tournament. Who is this? Do not recognize this player at all. WGM. We'll play into mainline Slav or semi-Slav. G6. It's always a little bit passive, this Schlechter Slav. Normal stuff. Playing Slav versus John is bold, says Rusted Sun. I don't know about that. H6, kind of an odd move. I'll play H3. I assume black's trying for knight H5. Okay, now it feels like a normal maneuver here. Knight A4, knight C5 should be decent. Maybe A3 first, though. Let's think for a second. A3 there is. Knight A5. I think I'm going to go knight A4 directly. It allows knight B4, but maybe just bishop B1 at that point is fine. Knight D7, okay. So now let's do this and gradually try to sink a knight into C5, most likely. Yeah, I was not able to pronounce that name or attempt it. I would have lost about 30 seconds on my clock and still failed. Okay, knight A5. Knight D2, maybe? Knight D2 looks pretty reasonable. Covers a lot of squares. C4, B3. Thanks, M. Medidi. Thanks, Joel Skill, as well. Okay, A6. Yeah, so B4, there might be tactical issues, huh? That's the argument. And black is getting ready for b5. Not quite sure what is best here. I mean, maybe b3? b3 looks weird, though. But maybe. I don't see a problem with b3, so I'm going to give it a shot. I'm just trying to stop knight c4. I mean, even if black plays b5, play knight c5, just deny knight c4. Yeah, let's jump in. I'm going to take with the rook, because I want to avoid bishop b2 in the end. Okay, breaking through. Let's play e4. Down on the clock, but stable position, queen c2, I think, coming up. Kind of looks roughly level, I would say. We both have bishops that are temporarily blocked. Play this out. I don't think I'm too worried about this at the moment. Usually a sacrifice of a bishop for 2 pawns there next to the king. If it's only the queen attacking, is not going to be too troublesome. Now, how to make progress, though? What's the next step? Because b4 looks so natural, but it gives black some leverage with a5 anytime I play that. Also opens up this bishop further. So I'm not completely sure what to do yet. Just going to play some useful moves to start. King h2. Let's go queen here. If knight a5, I'll play the knight back to d2, I think. It's a bit of a standoff. I don't want to allow her to use that e5 square. Yeah, I don't know what to do here. Down on the clock. I'm just gonna... Okay. Yeah. Agree drawn. I think I feel okay with that. Wasn't the greatest position. Although usually out of this opening, I think white gets a pretty risk-free small advantage. Let's check the engine. Says black should play b4. Now it wants me to play queen e2, giving black the e5 square, but it does give a slight edge for white. Queen e2 is not something I was even considering, though. Yeah, I think it's chances for both sides. That will give us a chance to watch a decisive game. Let's watch Fabiano versus Firouzja. What a mess of a position here. Look at this. You just glance at this position and you know it's chaotic. This looks good for white. Although I might be eating my words in a second. Who knows? This rook looks kind of ridiculous on a7, though. Black's pieces look all bunched up. Rook e6 hitting this. Okay, rook g3 coming, maybe? If I were white, I'd want to get this rook over at some point soon. What? And white is up a piece. Okay, that's pretty important. So Fabiano looks to be winning here. Yeah, knight f6. That is pretty strong. Just don't take with a pawn and get mated on h1. Firouzja would surely like that. take h5 or f2's now hanging. Well, Fabi's now low. Whoa, hanging rook? Is he? Oh, here, take. Well, he's defending the knight. Somehow that worked out for white. Amazingly, knight f3. That looks so scary. Yeah, and Firouzja loses. Oh, man. So Fabi gets the 9 out of 10 in the final 8. Congratulations to Amin Tabatabai for 9 out of 10 as well. I think Hikaru must have drawn his game, so he's in the mix too. Grishuk, Vladislav Kovalev, Shield 12. Who's that? Vakidov. I think another young grandmaster. Tamir Nabadi as well. Okay. Congrats to the top 8. There might be maybe one game that could affect the standings. Maybe not. I think the top 8 is set at this point. They're going to play a knockout. Yeah, Fabi's so good. Even though he doesn't play online a lot, you can see his strength right there. Beating Firouzja in a decisive game and a time scramble, messy position as well. These guys play so confidently. Commentate the final knockout rounds. I got to run, unfortunately, but I will pass this off to the chess.com channel, so you guys can watch the official coverage. I'm sure someone is covering it. We'll just wait till the final bell here. Thank you. Yeah, 6 out of 10. Not bad. Could have been better. Could have been worse. Probably mostly could have been worse. There's at least one game I definitely should have lost. Thank you, I pawned my chess set. You as well. Enjoy your day. Just a few games left here. King and rook versus king and rook. Drawn. White trying to win here, but not going to be successful. Don't get mated if you're white. Like, play king e8 and allow rook g8. I think white is the one who has a little more to lose here with their king on the edge of the board, but, you know, obviously still a complete draw. Another king and rook versus king and rook. This other game's over, so this is the last game of the tournament. Hey, Potenth. Thank you, Gadfly. Thanks, Turok Black, as well. And thank you very much, Volkur, for your nice words. Yeah, gonna head out here in a second. Just waiting for the final game to finish. Oh, there we go, finally. They always drag it out in one game. Okay. I think that should be it. There we go, tournament over. Fabi gets the top spot, but again, the top 8 are all in a knockout at this point. Congratulations to Fabi, though, as well as Tabatabai and Infernal Zam for the top 3 on the podium. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in today. It was a blast, as usual. Yeah, I'm going to raid chess. And thank you guys very much once again for all the subs. Appreciate the support. I know I haven't been streaming very much lately, but just busy on a number of fronts. Yeah, thanks, Crafty Raff. Thanks, CTM and Vegan Blunt Wrap. Take care, guys. I'll post this on YouTube in a little bit. All right, bye.